Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Bruce. Today I wanted to do a quick little video on how I care for my Hoyas. I finally reached over 100 Hoyas within the past week. It's a bit of a problem. Anyways, so I've been collecting since last year. Last year I maybe had like 5, 6, maybe 7 by the end of the year. And then this year, within this past couple of months, with the Hoya bug and everything like that, my addiction has really grown out of control. So I have over 100 Hoyas in my collection, and I thought that would be a good idea to start talking a little more generally about how I care for my Hoyas. So, really quick, please ignore this. I kept on playing with it last night, and so it's a little swollen, so don't look that pretty, but it's okay. So, I guess I'll start off with humidity and certain species that I will not have in my environment only because I don't have the right kind of humidity. So I do not have a humidifier. I don't use one. Last time that I tried to use one, it gave me some breathing problems. And so I don't use a humidifier. And so what that means is that certain species, it's like, especially the really moldy kind of looking Hoyas or some of the cardboardy type of Hoyas, like the undulata, I will not keep in my space. Only because I heard that those need really high humidity, and for the price point that they're at, it's really not worth me bringing it into my place and then just killing it. Like, if I just wanted to waste money, I'd just go, well, I'd do something else with it. So, I do have a way to kind of help offset my lack of humidity, and that's with my soil and with increased watering. With my soil, I kind of made a video about that, and that was the first time that I made my soil mix, and I have to say I really do like it. I think what I would change is change the pine bark for cocoa husks. The reason why is because the cocoa bark is a little too, or not the cocoa bark, but the pine bark is still a little too big, and so when I'm trying to pot it up, I'm having issues trying to get the plant to sit right because of these huge ass chunks are sitting in my soil. So my soil is a little bit more water retaining, and that's really nice because especially the Hoyas that's sitting on my 3 windows that's facing south, they get blasted with a lot of direct light, and so it gets really hot. And so any Hoyas that's sitting in the really chunky mix, I found that those roots start to dry out and start dying off, even though that the foliage is doing really well. So to help offset with that, I kind of started planting them in a little bit more of a water retaining soil, and that so far has been doing pretty well, especially for my Hoya bachii. It's like that one. Oh gosh, I can't really see. There's a couple of other ones I replaced, but I can't recall. It's fine. I just woke up not so long ago, and I thought, hey, you should really get this video out before you forget. So that's what we're doing. So, I kind of mentioned watering. So, watering overall is going to be a little different depending on your Hoyas. And it really depends on what kind of characteristics it has. So, for instance, small leaf Hoyas like your chingengenses, your Hoischkilianas, those ones really don't like to dry out for too long. And what I mean by that is I usually have to check every single day to make sure that the soil is not completely dry. Once it starts going dry, so like the top, maybe like nail has gone dry, that's when I would go ahead and water. And it's a little different than how I watered my other Hoyas. So like, you have your Hoya Mariana, which is small and succulent, and it has woody stems, which means that it retains water a little bit better than the other small-leaved Hoya varieties. And so because of that, what I do is I kind of squish the leaves that's closer towards the soil, and I see if it needs some water. And if it squishes or if it's softened, then that's when I go ahead and water. But otherwise, I leave that one more on the drier side. And then generally, for the rest of my Hoyas, what I do is I lift up the pot. If it feels light, then I go and water. Other Hoyas that do like a lot of water, like my Megalaster, um, and my Polynera, I try to make sure that I monitor those ones pretty often as well. Those ones I kind of treat as if they're small leaf Hoyas, so once the soil goes dry or the top nail goes dry, that's when I go and water. So make sure that you're doing your research and make sure that you're kind of getting a good feel on when to water. If you're not too sure, and if the watering, or if for some reason your Hoya is not doing good overall, I would double check the roots, make sure that they're not dead yet. If they are dead, just either water propagate or throw it into a sphagnum box or sphagnum bag, and make sure that you open up that bag once a day or whatever to kind of get the airflow and make sure that they don't rot. So, but yeah, so that's generally how I water. My aerial stemmas, like my Hoya later bachii, or my Hoya ciliata, what I do for those ones is, again, I guess it's kind of like the same, whereas I treat them similar to my small leaf Hoya, so I never really let them dry out. So, I guess when it comes, so we're gonna go into lighting now. So when it comes to lighting is a little bit different. So, now that I have different facing windows, I have my east facing door, and then I have my 3 facing windows right there, right in front of me. So for my east facing window, I have a lot of my more finicky, more sensitive paper thin Hoyas. So like my Hoya glabifera, my Polynera, let's see, my Megalastus in that window, my Chelsea. A lot of my Hoyas are actually out by this window. And a lot of my more succulent or my sun stressed capable Hoyas are on my other windows. And the reason why is because I found out recently that I burned my Hoya calistophylla. And when I mean I burned it, I mean I like all of the foliage that got direct sunlight from these east facing windows are completely burned, they're damaged, and they're going to drop soon. Like that's a pretty bad mistake. So when it comes to lighting, of course Hoya really wants a lot of light, but you also have to know how much light is too much light. So back in my last place, I had a lot of direct east facing or east morning rays, sun that came in, and so a lot of my Hoyas that were sitting in my window really enjoyed that, and so I was all like, you know what, like a south facing window would be great. And turns out that that's a little too much sunlight. And what I think it is a mixture of too much heat and too much light, as well as not getting enough water. So the reason why I say that is because with my Hoya sunrise, what happened was I wasn't watching it carefully enough, and so a couple of days has gone by and I did not water it enough, and so the leaves got a little too thin, and so the sun started burning off the leaves. And so you'll know when you're getting sunburn. It'll start crisping up, and it's different from like your regular crisp, because regular crisp, whenever it's not getting enough water, it'll start turning like yellow, and then it'll start browning, or like it looks like it's been overwatered sometimes, but it'll usually start from the tip and it'll work its way up. For sunburned, it's like a huge ass brown or huge ass white spot appears in the middle of your leaf, and that's when you know that you're getting too much sunlight. Yeah. Which I kind of wonder, because I know that I don't know how I want to phrase this. But basically, it's like if there's enough light, but if there's like a wind or like a film that kind of filters out the sunlight, then I know that it shouldn't burn as much. But over the winter season, I'm kind of curious to see if it's a mixture between both sunlight and temperatures that causes these Hoyas to burn. for instance, is it the heat and the sun that's making them sunburn, or is it just the sun, or what have you? So I'm really curious. Over the next couple of months, I think I might actually get a shelf and pull all those Hoyas off of that window and have that on a shelf that faces out south, because I really don't want any more Hoyas to be burned. Yeah, I need to figure out how I'm doing that. Get the yawns out. Yeah. So that's pretty much how I wanted to, or that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about sunlight. I don't really do anything too special, but I might just have to pull my Hoyas back a little bit from my south-facing window. And again, caring for your Hoyas is a lot of trial and error, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to make mistakes in your journey, and that's okay. You're going to learn from it, and you're going to learn which Hoyas does better in some of the windows better than others. And so it's just a guessing game sometimes. And one of the character, or when you're going at it, you'll just have to look at the characteristics that it has. As in, are the leaves super succulent? If they're super succulent, then will they like a lot of light? If they like a lot of light, then go ahead and give it a lot of sun. But if it starts burning or if it starts bleaching, then go ahead and pull it off from that window and give it a different lighting. With your watering, if you're noticing that leaves are dropping, check the roots. If the roots are dying off, go ahead and try to repropagate it. If your Hoyas are not doing well overall, maybe you're overwatering, but definitely feel those leaves and see what the soil is like and just kind of go from there. If you're in a more humid environment like Florida, whatever, you probably don't have to mess with the soil too much because you'll probably want more of a chunkier soil. So that's pretty much how the overall general consensus for this video. I feel like I'm forgetting something else. Yeah, I don't think that I wanted to cover anything else. I think if anything, if you grow with luck, I think you're a cheater and you have it easier. But will I ever switch to Leica? No, because I'm not a cheater. So, that's how we're gonna end this video. So, until the next one, thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe because that's what all the cool kids are saying. And if you haven't followed me on Instagram, then go ahead and do that. I am at scrumptious_greens because I'm a snack that collects plants. And that's just basically an easier way to connect with me and ask me any questions more specifically. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching again, and see you guys in the next one.